I'm going to start with a little experiment here. Consider yourselves our guinea pigs. I just want you all to close your eyes for a moment and just imagine, how would you do your banking or your grocery shopping?
How would you read the news? How would you study, do your job, or even just look for one?
How would you stay in touch with distant friends or while away countless hours on Facebook and Twitter? How would you, for that matter, tweet about this awesome TEDx talk? Well, all of this is possible with computers, but how do you use a computer without sight?
Using software known as a screen reader, which reads text on the computer screen using speech and braille. Screen readers have been traditionally very expensive, sometimes costing up to thousands of dollars. But if you're a student or unemployed, you simply may not be able to afford it.
In a modern world where technology is becoming an increasingly integral part of everyday life, this is a pretty unacceptable situation. As blind people ourselves, we know firsthand that technology is even more important for people with disabilities than anyone else, because it can help to eliminate or lower previous barriers, which greatly increases independence and quality of life. For example, as a blind person myself, I can read the news or do my shopping with the use of a screen reader. And in fact, Mick and I are both reading our notes for this speech using a screen reader. I'm reading them in Braille, and Mick is reading them with speech. We sought to solve this problem for blind users with free, open-source software developed for users by users. Many had talked about doing this before, but none had actually ever really pursued it very far.
In 2006, we started to create NVDA, which stands for Non-Visual Desktop Access, which is a free and open-source screen reader for the Microsoft Windows operating system. I was very active in blindness advocacy at the time, and I wanted to sort out all problems in the world now. I had modest programming experience, but did believe that someone's got to start this kind of project sometime.
Coming a little from the other side of the coin, I'd just not long come out of a degree in information technology. I had some work experience, a very strong belief in open source, and I'm also an extreme perfectionist.
And we've known each other since we were children, and we've worked on other projects together in the past. We have similar interests, both believers in openness and community, and we complement each other in skill set.
So our work was initially entirely voluntary on NVDA. We made it open source, and so we encouraged contributions from others right around the world. Organisations and a steadily growing user base then began to contribute financially to move the project forward. In response to the growing success of the project, we created ONExSENSE as an Australian charity to manage administration and funding.
ONExSENSE has received support from companies such as Adobe, Mozilla, Yahoo, and Microsoft. Thanks to this funding, for the past several years, we've both been able to work on NVDA full-time, though we do still find sustainability, not to mention growth, sometimes to be a struggle. We've had over 100 contributors across the world, many of them voluntary translators. Today, NVDA is recognised as a fully featured screen reader, providing access to the web, email, word processing, chat, entertainment, and much more.
NVDA is now depended upon by tens of thousands of blind people across the world, spanning 120 countries. Surveys suggest that it is now the second most used screen reader in the world. It's been translated into over 40 languages, and in many developing countries, it is the only choice. It's used at home, school, in workplaces, and in public access situations such as libraries and university labs.
ONExSENSE has been recognised for its life-changing work by Vision Australia and other blindness agencies internationally. NVDA is having a huge impact in countries such as India, Brazil, Taiwan, Poland, and the US, to name a few.
NVDA is also used by web and software developers for testing when making their products accessible. This is not even a market we'd ever anticipated before. The barriers to making software and websites accessible to everyone should be as low as possible, and it's simply not feasible for some developers to pay for a screen reader to help make their software accessible. Beyond developing NVDA, ONExSENSE also actively participates in standards groups and the wider technical community in order to move web and software accessibility forward in general.
If the average cost of a commercial screen reader is around $1,000, and we know that tens of thousands of people have already been helped by our free alternative, this means tens of millions of dollars saved because the overall cost of NVDA has not yet reached 1/10 of that cost.
I'd like to read a short testimonial from an Indian NVDA user by the name of Dheeraj Konch. When I came to know about an open source screen reader, NVDA, my joy knew no bounds. I installed it on my father's laptop and began my journey in the heaven of computers and internet. I knew nothing about computers before a year or so, but today my family members and friends often come to me to solve their computer queries. Sound familiar to anyone? NVDA has been a complete destroyer of my problems, those of studies, gaining knowledge, entertainment, and all essential tasks to be performed with the help of a computer. NVDA has made me what I longed to be.
We believe the fundamental principles of our work can be applied to many other projects, particularly those helping minorities. If you, your community, or people you care about are facing an obstacle, try solving it yourselves, even if it seems like an unattainable goal. Sorry. Everything has to start somewhere. It's a great challenge, and it sets a great example of empowerment for the community.
Don't let skepticism, yours or anyone else's, kill your dreams. But don't doom the project to failure with unrealistic expectations either. Resources are important, but drive, passion, and belief are critical. Funding and other resources are a constant struggle for us, but we've gotten this far simply by refusing to give up.
Stick to your core principles. Our insistence that NVDA remain free has made funding very hard for us, but it is a large part of our success and has earned us a great deal of respect and goodwill. A free, open, community-driven model can be extremely advantageous for projects serving minorities in need. Free means the greatest number of people can benefit. Openness allows for contributions from the community, which benefit everyone. It also allows for innovations which the creators may never even have thought of.
We'd like to leave you finally with the major reason we believe this kind of work is so important. It's not just about compassion or just because it's nice to help people, although those are certainly admirable goals and they do leave you feeling good at the end of the day. But the more important reason is that each and every person in this society has a responsibility to contribute what they can to that society. But to do that, they need the tools to give them that opportunity. So in enabling people with disabilities and other minorities in need, we enable them to do their part in ensuring a brighter future for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.